It's a whole hell of a lot better than turtlenecks.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. Imagine if we had stayed in the turtlenecks.
The first night was a fashion faux pas.
What's going on, everyone? For Wrestle Trivia, I'm your host, Kevin J. Callis.
Yeah! I love you so long!
And you're watching Wrestling Jeopardy, the ultimate interactive game show where you're the contestant.
Are you ready?
So let's go to the board now and
think
check out
so.
the categories we'll be quizzed on in this special Survivor Series episode.
Hells yeah, brother.
Starting with debuts,
Okay.
followed by Survivor Series surprises. Up next, Survivor
Main
Series
events.
main events. Our fourth category is Sole Survivors, where you'll have to correctly identify the superstar who was the sole survivor for their team. And last but certainly not least, still a new feature here on Wrestling Jeopardy, our member category of the week, CM Punk's WWE return at the 2023 Survivor Series.
Oh, you don't want my reaction to this.
That bell means it's clobbering time. We begin our game with the 200-point Jobber round, the easiest round in Wrestling Jeopardy.
Brooklyn
Will you
Brawler.
answer all 5 of these questions correctly, or will you totally embarrass yourself?
No way!
All right, here we go with the first clue of the Jobber round.
Let's do it.
This trio of young superstars debuted at the 2012 Survivor Series and delivered what would become their signature triple powerbomb on Ryback.
The triple double power bomb. It's the Shield.
Now, back in 2012, the Shield were relative unknowns. However, the immediate impact they made in WWE changed the career paths of Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, and Dean Ambrose forever. All right, let's move on to the second clue of the Jobber round from Surprises. A surprising upset in the battle for brand supremacy occurred at the 2019 Survivor Series when this black and gold brand bested both Raw and SmackDown.
It's got to be NXT. I wasn't watching it. Was I watching it in 2019? Yeah, I guess I was. I moved up here in
They were the better
2017.
brand that night. They were NXT. And that brings us to the third clue of
2009
the
is what I'm
Jobber
thinking.
round from Survivor Series main events. The fate of multiple companies was on the line in the main event of the 2001 Survivor Series as the best superstars WWE had to offer joined forces against the alliance of these two rival companies.
ECW and WCW, the Alliance. Bonus points, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, RVD. No. Was it the Dudleys? Fuck.
Now, it wasn't the WWE.
It was Booker and RVD. The inaugural brawl in SummerSlam, did that have the Dudleys in it? I think it did.
WWE versus WCW and ECW bout that fans dreamed about, but the symbolism was there to still make this all feel special.
One of the best Survivor Series of the century.
Moving on to the fourth clue of the Jobber
No, it
round from
wasn't.
Sole Survivors.
All
Who's
right.
the sole survivor for this group of warriors? Hawk, Animal, the Ultimate Warrior, or the Texas Tornado?
I'm going to say it's the Ultimate Warrior. Got to make Ultimate Warrior look strong, bro.
The Ultimate Warrior was the first superstar to pull off the impressive feat of becoming a sole survivor on 3 consecutive occasions from 1988 to 1990.
Is that where Rollins got that WrestleMania
Let's close
30
out the
belt
Jobber
swing
round
from?
with this clue.
Right.
CM Punk's return to WWE at the end of the 2023 Survivor Series was made all the more special since the event took place in this windy city.
Chicago, Illinois.
Chicago is not only a wrestling hotbed, but it's also CM Punk's hometown. All right, hopefully you survived the Jobber round.
Wait a minute! Good God almighty! For God's sakes!
Things get a little bit more difficult here in the 400-point round. Let's kick things off with the first clue from Survivor Series debuts. This iconic WCW superstar made his long overdue WWE debut at the 2014 Survivor Series.
With the wrong music and everything, that man was Sting.
Like seeing CM Punk return to the WWE after 10 years, it was so surreal to see the man called Sting finally join the WWE
I would have
roster.
preferred that
He
theme
showed up
song
at
versus
this
what the
Survivor Series
or
event
whatever
to
a crow
show
sounds
off
like.
Defeat the Authority.
No.
But let's not talk about anything that happened after this amazing debut, okay?
That would be ridiculous at this point.
And that brings us
Thank
to
you.
the second clue of the 400-point round from Surprises. Scott Steiner made his surprise return to WWE at the 2002 Survivor Series, which was held that year inside the hallowed halls of this world-famous arena.
Madison Square Garden in New York. So I called this before the Saturday night before because they used to have this thing called WWE Confidential. It's like when Shawn Michaels came back. They had a whole segment on Shawn Michaels, and the Saturday night before the pay-per-view, they had a whole thing on Scott Steiner. I'm like, all right, he's coming back tomorrow night. And he beat up Chris Nowinski and Matt Hardy.
If you ever get a chance to catch a wrestling event or a basketball game or a concert, you must go to Madison Square Garden. And we're on to the 400-point clue from Survivor Series main events. After Stone Cold Steve Austin was run over at the 1999 Survivor Series, this wrestler was inserted into the main event triple threat match against The Rock and Triple H.
The Big Show, and he won. No, Kurt Angle. It was Kurt Angle.
Well, he walked out of the Survivor Series.
Yeah, Survivor Series because it was the black and red logo with the 1 on it.
As the WWF champion, who is the Big Show?
Yeah, Big Show.
All right, let's move on to some more Soul Survivors for 400. Who is the sole survivor from this team of Ravishing Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, the One Man Gang, and the Natural Butch Reed?
Andre the Giant.
In 1987, at the inaugural Survivor Series, Andre the Giant pinned the Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow, to become the first sole survivor in WWE history. And let's finish up the 400-point round with this clue. This superstar was in no mood to sing his theme song as he reacted furiously to Punk's return.
Oh, Seth freaking Rollins.
Having to be physically restrained by Corey Graves and Michael Cole, Seth freaking Rollins was freaking pissed off at the sight of the Second City Saint. All right, 10 questions down.
Ross. Are you going to put Ross in here?
Daily double
You can't put
Final
me.
Jeopardy. Make sure you hit that
Yeet.
subscribe button if you're having a good time.
I don't even know if that
Appreciate
looked
all
right.
of you who
Yeet.
have subscribed. We've recently hit 10,000 subscribers.
You're welcome.
It's amazing. I can't believe it.
I've only done a
Thank
handful of
you
these.
so much. Really appreciate it. And let's kick
Hey, hang on. Can we start over? We're live, pal.
off the 600-point round with this clue. Which two wrestlers did Rocky Maivia pin during his electrifying debut at the 1996 Survivor Series? Your choices are Crush, Jerry the King Lawler, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Goldust.
Triple H and Goldust.
And the two wrestlers were Crush and Goldust.
I knew it was Goldust. I couldn't remember this. So
that brings us to the 600-point clue from Surprises. Speaking of surprises, this clue will actually be worth more than 600 points because this is the 1,000th clue in Wrestling Jeopardy history.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
As a gift to you
What
from
in the
Wrestling
hell?
Jeopardy history.
Congratulations.
Who jazzed all over Lex Luger? What a narcissist.
Thank you very much.
As a gift to you, from me to you, this will be worth 1,000 points instead.
Yeet.
Roman Reigns' first WWE title run lasted only 5 minutes and 15 seconds. After this wrestler cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase and spoiled the Big Dog's victory celebration at the 2015 Survivor Series.
Can I get 1,000 points for Sheamus here, Daddy?
Oh, fella, it's the Celtic Warrior. Who is Sheamus? Moving on to more main event clues for 600. At the 1994 Survivor Series, this tough celebrity was brought in to be the special guest enforcer for the main event casket match between The Undertaker and Yokozuna.
Tough. 1994. Tough. Chuck Norris.
No bad guys wanted any part of Chuck Norris. Well, maybe except for good
Jeff
old
Jarrett.
Double J, Jeff Jarrett, who wound up with some sweet chin music courtesy of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Thumbs up!
And that brings us to the 600-point clue from Soul Survivors. Who is the sole survivor from this team of the Warlord, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and the Mountie?
Yeah, I guess it would have to be Ric Flair.
Now, did you know that the Nature Boy Ric Flair achieved 2 sole surviving victories? His first coming in 1991, and the other 17 years later in 2006. And let's close out the
You could have saved
600-point
that for
round with
all right.
this clue from CM Punk's 2023 return. Fans began to speculate about a possible Punk return to WWE when this band released a remixed version of their song Cult of Personality.
Living Color. And I hate this version of the song, but that's okay.
And that would be Who is Living Color? That brings us to the first clue of the 800-point round. Looking like a kinder, gentler godfather, this former ECW and WCW Tag Team Champion made his debut at the 1996 Survivor Series.
Former ECW and WCW Tag Team Champion made his debut at the 1996 Survivor Series. ECW and WCW Tag Team Champion? Devon wasn't in WCW. Kinder, gentler godfather. I have no clue. I mean, I have a clue here.
Now, The Rock wasn't the only person to make his debut at the 1996 Survivor Series.
And I got a chia pet on my head as a haircut.
Because
Yeah.
Too Cold Scorpio
It was
so
Too Cold Scorpio.
funky
Okay.
as Flash Funk.
Ah, Flash, you are so
And
funky.
that brings us to the second clue of the 800-point round.
WWF
The
The Music
Rock
Volume 2.
surprised everyone when he sold out to become the corporate champion
Let's
at
watch this the other day.
1998 Survivor Series, which was subtitled this.
Deadly Game. I was cleaning my apartment and all that before I went on Thanksgiving break.
Now, The Rock turning heel to
Because
win
it's
a
a
tournament
deadly
for the
game that we
WWF
play as we
Championship.
live.
You might say
Deadly
that was
game.
a deadly game, if you will.
Bring it back. I love pay-per-views that are all one tournament. And put it outside.
Let's hop over to the third clue of the 800-point round from Main Events. Here it is, the daily double for this episode. Don't go and start like Googling Survivor Series main events. Let's have some integrity here, okay? Yeah! Anywho, place your wager now. All right, time is up. Here is this episode's daily double clue. In the main event of the 2002 Survivor Series, Shawn Michaels defeated these 5 superstars to win the World Heavyweight Championship in the first ever Elimination Chamber match. You know, I think I'll give you a little bit of extra time on this just because I'm feeling generous.
Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Triple H, Chris Jericho, Kane. Right? Booker T, RVD, Triple H, Chris Jericho, and Kane. I don't think Kevin Nash was in that one. I think it was later where he's blonde.
All right, time is up. The answer of this episode's Daily Double. The 5 superstars are Triple H, Booker T, Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam, and it's gotta be Kane.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the 800-point clue from Soul Survivors. Who is the sole survivor from the women's 5-on-5 traditional elimination match from the 2020 Survivor Series that featured Peyton Royce, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Ruby Riott, Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan, Lacey Evans, Natalya, Bayley, and Lana?
I have a better question. Who gives a shit? I don't know.
The ravishing Russian Lana stood alone as the sole survivor for Team Raw against Team SmackDown. And here comes the final clue of the 800-point round. What wrestler's theme song was playing when CM Punk's music hit during his return at the 2023 Survivor Series?
That was Downstate, Cody Rhodes.
Although Randy Orton had made his return to the WWE that evening, it was Cody Rhodes' entrance theme playing. You know, I thought it might have been cool if Randy's song would have been playing since he made a return as well, but I guess he got the shaft all around that evening.
Can I not enjoy 10
minutes
of my return?
Oh, you had to put the New Day in here?
And here comes the main event. 5 clues left. If you think you're a wrestling fan, this round is guaranteed to put your knowledge to the test. And let's kick things off with the final clue, the 1,000-point clue from Survivor Series debuts. As The Undertaker made his debut at the 1990 Survivor Series, Roddy Piper exclaimed over commentary, "Look at the size of that blank."
Oh, I can hear him saying it too. Behemoth? The Gargantuan? I'm gonna... Behemoth. That's not right. Look at the size. I can hear him saying it.
I still whip out this line every now and then, whenever I can, whenever it's appropriate. Piper said, "Look at the size of that ham hock."
That's right.
Look at the size
Is that ham?
That brings us to the final clue, the 1,000-point clue from Survivor Series surprises. Kofi Kingston pulled off quite the surprise win for his team at the 2009 Survivor Series when he pinned these 2 former world champions in a span of 8 seconds.
Jack Swagger and Kane. I don't know. I wasn't watching.
The correct answer, CM Punk and Randy Orton.
Really?
Kingston hooks the leg. He got it.
And here comes the final clue from Survivor Series main events. How many seconds did it take Goldberg to defeat Brock Lesnar in the main event of the 2016 Survivor Series?
Just 20? 25?
And that would be 86 seconds, or I would also accept 1 minute and 26. 1 minute 60.
So they count the shoves.
I would also accept
Whatever.
1 minute and 26 seconds. Here comes the 1,000-point clue from Soul Survivors. Who was the sole survivor from this match between Team USA, consisting of Goldust, Mark Marrow, Vader, and Steve Blackman, versus Team Canada, consisting of the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith, Philip LaFawn, Doug Furness, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart?
I would imagine it would be either Goldust or the British Bulldog. So I'm going to go British Bulldog.
Now, props to JR on commentary for calling out Team Canada being made up of mostly non-Canadians. But the sole survivor was the British Bulldog, who walked straight to
Can
the
I
back
book
after the
or
match,
can I book?
probably freaking out about what might happen with his brother-in-law later in that evening.
That's
And let's close out the board with this final clue worth 1,000 points. Who was the first person to greet Punk when he came back through the curtain?
it's Triple H.
And these two would go on to break the internet, so to
I've watched
speak.
that video
Correct
a couple of
answer,
times, so
Who
yeah.
is Triple H?
Like, yeah, we're done. We go home
I
now.
love you, man. I love you too, bud. I love you, dude. I love you, bro, Montana.
All right, don't go anywhere. It's Final Jeopardy time on this special Survivor Series themed episode. Let's find out what the final category is.
Bring it.
The Montreal Screwjob.
Well, I could have called that
Only
one.
a handful of iconic moments in
What
the
is
history
wrong with
of
his face?
professional wrestling are still talked about as frequently as what happened during the final minutes of the 1997 Survivor Series. So think about the Montreal Screwjob and place your wager now.
Sure thing.
All right, time's up. Here is the final Jeopardy clue. This member of Vince McMahon's inner circle was the agent in charge of the main event match between Brett and Shawn. Is it A, Bruce Pritchard, B, Gerald Briscoe, or C, Pat Patterson?
It was Bruce Pritchard.
A faithful McMahon ally, Pat Patterson was also a
I
close
thought that might
personal
have been it.
friend of the Hitman, and Brett actually inducted Pat into the WWE Hall of Fame in 1996. And that does it for another episode of Wrestling Jeopardy. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Kevin J. Callis,
Yeah.
and I'll see you next time.
And we are back with these, so like, subscribe to Wrestling Trivia. Yeah. But also, if you like my video, please like and subscribe and all the things that the reacting people ask you to do. It really helps us out. I don't know why it's us. It's just me who's eat. No, we'll be back with more Wrestling Trivia. We'll see you soon.